Thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Today on this side of the table, we're taking a look at foreign affairs, Ambassador-Designate deployment. And like we said, of course, it's been over a month that the National Assembly gave a nod to individuals who were appointed by Mr. President as ambassadors-designate, and we had hoped that after that clearance, they would have been deployed to their various commissions. But as we speak, only about 3 have been deployed to their various commissions. What does this portend for Nigeria's foreign affairs policies, especially at a time when Nigeria, of course, on the international scene, seems to be in the eye of the storm? We have a colleague who's also a lawyer in the studio this morning, and together we'll be taking a look at this very important conversation. Thank you so much, Tosi Akode, for finding time to be with us here today. Right. Of course, we had thought that when the National Assembly cleared these individuals, they should have gotten their assignments or their designations shortly after that. But then January is almost over, and only last week did we hear that at first it was 4, and then there was a retraction that, there was an error somewhere, and only 3 were sent to, their consulates. Until now, we still have others who are waiting. What does this really portend for Nigeria's diplomatic face, especially at a time when a lot of people are expecting a lot of repairs on the global scene for Nigeria?
Well, thank you once again for having me. First and foremost, I need to be very, very emphatic that it's not a good one. It's not a good sign at all. This administration hasn't started well. Okay. International relations wise, it hasn't started well. I was in Abuja when the president became the ECOWAS chairman, for instance, and it was almost taking eternity, and in fact it did, to convince even the legislators to draw up a motion to congratulate him for the ECOWAS chairmanship. I mean, this is not a mean feat. It's no mean feat.
Right.
All right, so now we've looked at what I call what Fela called Shakara Oloji is what the administration actually took off with. When he assumed power in 2023, recall that he decided to recall now many of the ambassadors back to base. And we were thinking that he was going to do something fantastic, internationally speaking, only for us to be in the limbo for some 2 years. Now it has come up for maturity. Send these people out. Something tells me that Donald Trump wouldn't have fired that shot. He fired at Nigeria. If we had ambassadors over there, they would have done all the preliminary discussions and, so, but it's not good for our international relations stamina. Is not good.
Right. But as we speak, like I said, just about less than 5 days ago, about 5 days ago, there was the deployment of 3 of the ambassadors to the U.S., to France, and to UK. Initially, we had somebody also posted to Turkey, but
the former KB governor.
Yes, and that was again dropped at the end of the day. So if we look at the deployment of just 3 out of 68 of the nominees that were cleared by the Senate sometime last December, this is almost the end of January. If we look at these 3 states, then they now have, the ambassador-designate. Hopefully by now they should have resumed. What do you make out of the necessity to have filled these 3 places first? Would that call out by Donald Trump also have necessitated Nigeria filling the U.S. amongst the 2 other countries first, again, to manage all of the issues at hand?
Let me begin with the attempted 4.
Okay.
That now eventually became
3.
The 3. I've watched a lot of analysts, put the blame on government, Because you see, in international relations and diplomatic circles, basically, what happens is that there's what we call customary, international law and peremptory norms of international law from which derogations are not permitted.
Okay.
This is how it is done. When an ambassador-designate is about to, in fact, is about to be mentioned to the public, before you go to the press, you have to get the buy-in and the clearance from the host or the receiving state.
Okay.
So I have a sneaky little feeling that the president hasn't gotten the buy-in yet of the president of Turkey.
At least at the moment, he is in Turkey.
Now, that is the problem. Now, this is where the wisdom comes in for the stay of action on that ambassador-designate.
Right.
He is going to Turkey. All right? So I'll have discussions and get the actual buy-in before you are...
Of the host country.
Of course, before you are mentioned to the public.
Okay.
Because it will amount to serious disrespect. When you go on to mention somebody is coming to, without, it's like someone coming, okay, let's assume that I'm coming to this station this morning. Right. I would have gotten at least not less than 72 hours notice before now. You can't just barge into my sleep, for instance, and tell me, Barrister Conde, you are coming on air in the next 1 hour.
Right, which you haven't prepared for.
I'll trump you.
You would.
I'll trump you. So that is just the way it operates also in international law. That's what we call extrapolations. You can take principles from domestic law and take it onto the international realm. Right. That is just the way it is. So people should fire him less on that one. Okay. All right. So, but now the other three that have gotten the nod so far, where it tells you the body language of not just the president, but the body language of many countries. The United States, for many who do not know, is referred to as Uncle Sam in diplomatic circles. You know what that means? When your mates are addressing you as an uncle, that tells you the overbearing
nature.
Exactly, nature of the U.S. over the years. So, of course, the U.S., it comes as no surprise, the U.S., the U.K., and France. France, especially because of the sub-region wherein we find ourselves. All right, we are in ECOWAS, where we have, say, 16 countries, and only about 5 are speaking English language with us. So the rest 11 are not. So France is important. We must always play, France must always play for Nigeria, that stabilizing factor in the ECOWAS sub-region. So these are some of the potpourri of factors that have to be considered. Right.
Let's also look at, of course, we have 68 individuals made up of career and non-career ambassadors that Mr. President, of course, that has designated and waiting for their deployment. Let's look at this at the moment where they have not been deployed. What should, especially for the non-career ambassadors, what should this waiting period be for them? Especially since they will be the representative of Nigeria in those countries that they will eventually get posted to. How important are they ready for the position with which they will be occupying? Because being an ambassador is not a face value job. It is one that carries a whole lot of responsibility and a whole lot of power. So during this waiting period, what should we as a country be feeding to these individuals before they eventually get their appointments, especially for those of them who are not career ambassadors?
Okay, let me try and approach this your question from as many angles as possible. First and foremost, I'll correct one impression. Right. In diplomatic circles, historically until now, every ambassador is seen as a personal representative,
of your country,
your head of state.
Well, your president, the leader of that country.
Yes. In Nigeria, domestically speaking, municipally speaking, yes, the president makes the appointment on our behalf. But internationally speaking, diplomatically speaking, everyone whose name has been sent now is seen as a personal representative of the head of state, this sovereign. Right. So that is why it behoves on president, for example, on the president, to make sure he makes as much wide consultations as possible. That's where all the background checks, the security checks, and what have you,
right,
must be effectively done so that we have the best of the best who go out.
Right.
Now, talking about what some of these, especially the non-career diplomats should be doing, let me situate that I am one of those who has been shortlisted to be one of the diplomats. This is the best time for me to reinvent oneself. Okay, there are specific countries with different historical, cultural backgrounds. Yeah. You don't know yet where you will be given.
Exactly.
But then you can reinvent yourself. There's general knowledge for
so that
those in
wherever you are, it
you can fit in.
Right.
That's the. Let's leave it at that.
Okay. So again, tactically, you have put this responsibility on these individuals.
That's it.
That because you have been shortlisted, you have been chosen, it behoves on you then to put yourself in the best position to fit in.
Don't forget, you actually emphasize, especially for the non-career.
Yes, because again,
we have no knowledge of foreign service at all.
Yes, because for the career ambassadors, they've been trained one way or the other.
They're in the foreign service.
Yes, they are in foreign service. They know what they should do, and they are able to, articulate all of these things because that is by career.
It's their forte.
Exactly.
That's their forte.
So for the non-career ambassadors, who are about 30 or 33 on this number, and majority of them are politicians. And so here you are saying you've been chosen, like the Yorubas will say, I mean, atibieno. So you have to now
reinvent yourself.
So it is now solely their responsibility to equip themselves with what they will need to succeed in their foreign So this is what you're saying.
Of course, there will also be
definitely people who work with them.
There will be trainings even that will be put in place by the Nigerian government for these people as they are going. Every attempt to talk to them, to indoctrinate them, let me use that word, to indoctrinate them with the Nigerian dream, with the Nigerian vision, if there is anything like that anyway. But we believe that there should be. That is what some of us have been angling for, that there should be a deliberate Nigerian vision, Nigerian dream. I'm not talking about vision 2050. I'm not talking about vision 2060. These kinds of visions we are talking about are very, very unrealistic. I'm talking about things that epitomizes the Nigerian spirit. All right? And this is what you articulate when you get to your receiving states, to your host nations. Go there and be the best version of, not just yourself now, the best version of Nigeria. All right. So I'm going to add something. There are a few things that I find as a little bit untoward, awkward, about even the three mentioned postings so far. For example, I want Nigerians to follow this observation. Look at, I'm trying to remember his name, the one that is sent to the UK.
Are?
No,
to the UK. That's
the one in trouble, quote unquote. Ayodele Oke. Before he even came to Nigeria to accept the NIA headship, he's been a diplomat at the Commonwealth of Nations in London. I would wonder why the president and his handlers or his media team or his advisors decided to ignore that man for the UK and decided to send him to France. I wouldn't know. Maybe language was considered. Maybe he can speak French passably well. But it's not all there is to it. Since he's going to have interpreters who will work with him. Some of us are of the opinion that having worked at the Commonwealth Secretary, it should have been easy more for UK posting. Because, you see, if you send someone who is not fit, a country like the UK will look down on him. And that will defeat the desire of the Nigerian, foreign policy.
So, but of course, these are your personal opinion.
Personal, but expertise coming in. I'm sorry, without sounding arrogant. I'm speaking as an expert. In foreign relations, in fact, the first thing to do is that's why you have to even get the nod of the head of state of the country you are sending them to. If you send someone who is not cute to me, in international relations, there's so much about pride at stake. Maybe you don't know. That's why some countries are adopted bicameral legislation. It's because of the reasons of ego. We have the money, we have the people. And some adopted unicameral legislature. Let's just manage. We are operating on a lean budget.
Right.
And belong kind of mentality. Do you understand? No, I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
In international relations, it's all about grandstanding.
Okay.
So how could you send somebody that is not your best to us? And a country like the UK, where they found out something that is average.
Right.
Being sent to them. That's in the same vein. I'm looking at the posting of the other man. I mean that had to.
Okay.
No, that one is that one. Coming to that one.
Okay.
It's sweet. All right. So
Okay.
I'm looking at the other guy. I mean
the third one.
who's been in South Korea. Historically speaking, people would have advised the president. There's been no love lost between the British and Asians generally. All right. So have you heard about the Opium War? Haven't you? You haven't. Right. It went on for about 2 or 3 series in the 18th and 19th centuries. So that thing made, if a lot of people do not know this thing, we need to advert their minds to it. That was what made Chairman Mao to block the Chinese border for some 40 years. Right. That we need to do a reinvention. The British people have lampooned us. They have denigrated us. Don't forget South Korea is so close. It's like a peninsula compared to the mainland China. So these are some of the things that should have come in. But on the choice of Lateef Kade, okay, he's spot on.
He's spot on.
First-class product from UI,
also
guy.
a Defense Academy product.
He went to my old school, the proud University of Lagos.
See them now. They
right, so he went to Unilag for his master's.
So because he went to Unilag, that's a factor. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So, I mean, we've identified these 3 people, their strength, and of course, in your opinion, why, again, you feel that there could also be, you know, a misalignment in their posting, but of course they've been posted and they're expected to bring their wealth of experience to bear in those countries that they have been posted to. Again, let's just quickly get into the mind of the president now, and of course those who work with him in the deployment of other officers who are waiting for their deployment. Again, when it comes to their deployment, what again should Mr. President be looking at, though their expertise would you know, be brought to bear, their psychology state will be brought to bear, and now they're also able to, you know, represent Nigeria to the best of their ability, would also be measured in their posting. But in your own opinion, what are some of the mistakes that you think we should not make as a country when posting these individuals to the rest of the countries that we're waiting to post them into, and also ensuring that there is the buy-in, you mentioned that earlier on, the buy-in of those countries, the host countries, because it's very important, because they will be presenting the credence of office to those countries. So what are some of the things that Nigeria needs to put into cognizance so we also do not get some kind of either a cold shoulder or a backlash from those countries?
And well, since they have been dropped in the media space, people like me would have expected trainings of all kinds. Right. Even for those that are not career diplomats. They should have been, you know, have not been with institutions of foreign policy, you know, leanings in Nigeria, like the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. They should have been having 1 or 2 kinds of informal meetings with them. So, see, it's not rocket science. You are as good as you have been prepared by your country before you are allowed to go out. Okay.
Let me just chip this in. For you, if you look at the countries of the world that are left, where Nigeria definitely has foreign missions, and looking at the personality of Femi Fani-Kayode and Reno Mokri, tell us the countries that you would wish that these 2 gentlemen were posted.
My personal opinion.
Oh, definitely your personal opinion.
Fani-Kayode or Reno, South Africa would be fine.
For either of them. Why? Why do you think so? Why?
We need people who are convivial. You know, generally in foreign, in diplomacy, you need someone who is outspoken, gregarious people.
Who is,
you know, people who could be feisty when talking. You don't need to push someone to the US or UK, for instance, or South Africa now, and then the person can't talk. The person can't even look at Trump in the face.
Right.
I mean, oh my God. But you see, with Kyle, for instance, I'm sorry, I'll go back to your mentioned names. With Kyle, for instance, this is somebody who is schooled in spy mastering. He's been DG of the DSS, SSS before, now DSS. So he is a square peg in a square hole. He understands the nuances.
It fits into the job.
And that is it. So Trump will not find it easy to rubbish such a fellow.
Yeah.
All right, now, for Africa, South Africa here, they seem to be contentious with us on every issue. Okay, so if you pick someone like Reno is known for, her ability to hold his own intellectually speaking. Even to a few Nigerians, he's always intellectually on the wrong side of things. But the mere fact that he can hold his own, give it to him. South Africa. Yeah. It will be fine for him. Funny how they addressed the U.S. Congress sometime in 2004 or 5 or 6. And I must tell you, that was one of the proudest occasions I've ever had to be a Nigerian. This guy is brilliant. Give it to him. Okay. All right. So these are my own philosophies about appointing individuals.
Right, so you've mentioned South Africa, and then you feel that either or both of them will do a good job in South Africa. But if you were to choose a second country for either of them?
I would have even wanted one of them to have...
to go to the U.S.
To go to the U.S., honestly. To match Trump. Word for word, and wit for wit, and what have you. Okay. I would have wanted, but then the president holds...
In his wisdom.
He holds his.
They also might spoil things. These guys are also...
If they are going to spoil things, the only thing left for Trump to do would have been to declare them persona non grata, all right? So
because they are coming from a country of particular concern.
And then we'll have to send someone. On that one, I remember I wrote articles to the president and urged him, what we're supposed to do in international law is just what we call retortion. Also, draw up a list from Abuja and include some countries. Let the U.S. top the list, maybe country of urgent attention. Or, just do something to strike back at them. And we can't just be lame duck and allow Trump to talk down on us. It's not done in international law.
Let's also look at, of course, there are a lot of people on that list, but let's look at a few people who, off the cuff, we can also clearly identify with. Let's look at Mrs. Florence Ajimobi of that list as well. Again, if you look at her personality, and which of the countries would you think?
She should just go to Tanzania. Honestly,
why Tanzania? Because the president is female?
Not necessarily.
So why?
Countries that would not... that
would not rattle her.
The ratings. International ratings of countries, we all know it. You won't want Mrs. Ajimobi to be sent to the UK or the US, for instance.
Why?
Not even Canada.
Why?
These are countries with serious international ratings. So Mrs. Ajimobi is one easy
because she's not a career diplomat.
Not just because of that. You can bring anybody to be ambassador, but you look at where you are sending them to. So Tanzania is fit for madam.
Tanzania is
for madam. Or Ghana.
Or Ghana.
The Ghana High Commission.
Ghana High Commission. Right. How about the former INEC chair?
Honestly, I'm still of the opinion that he needs not be on that list. So I would want to, on the grounds of integrity, I want to excuse anything concerning Mahmoud Yakub. No. In this list, no, I wouldn't want to. You don't benefit from the election that you supervised, and it's not nice. Okay.
So we also, talking about the non-career ambassadors, we also have a former Abia governor, Victor Ipiazu, also on that list. If you look at his personality and the fact that he was a one-time governor, where would you, again?
Yeah, well, his making the list is all right. Well, sometimes when you are picking ambassadors, you look at reward for their loyalty. So
especially for the politicians, right?
The president, not because of his ability in diplomatic circles, he's never held any diplomatic position to say that he justifies.
Of course, that's why he's a non-career ambassador.
All right. So, maybe just to reward loyalty, for some people. He's not the only one.
Definitely.
I remember Jibola, the last time I was here, he kept asking, do you know somebody? Do you know somebody?
Okay.
So that person, for instance, too, obviously made the list for loyalty reasons.
Okay, so
it's allowed.
It's allowed. Would you also say that this is also a reward for former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Olufemi Pedro?
Well, maybe. Because
I'm not going to mention that person, Jibola kept handling you.
Don't, please. Well, for Pedro, yes, he's been a banker all his life, so this was nothing about diplomacy, really.
Right.
All right, so he making the list, and deservedly, because of the troubles he had gone through in the past, quote and unquote. But then I think truth must be told to the president, in as much as well, he's one of us, he's our own. We can't push him aside.
Right.
We want him to excel. Honestly, the mention of Ayodele Oke gives me so much worry. When I first heard about his name, and then having known his pedigree with the Ikoyi, Osborne, money issue and what have you, so I was like, the first thing that came to my mind, and I'll say it on air, why is the president deliberately cutting the status of the proverbial Alabaon, over whose head all ugly matters will rest? Why?
Okay.
That choice, as a matter of fact, fate might play a fast one on Nigeria or on the president. Because, do you know, it doesn't start and end with us here. He needs to still be accepted over there.
In that country,
And even if he has been accepted, the head of that other country needs not justify his reason for rejecting anybody.
Him. Absolutely. Because
this is the way it is in diplomacy.
Absolutely. But again, from what you mentioned earlier and the fact that there could also have been, that rapport between the host country and the sending country to have, cross all the T's and
I just said that
I's.
he can change his mind over there. It has happened in the past.
Okay.
And they will not give any justification because of owing to the principle of international law, principle of sovereignty.
Yeah.
Nigeria has the right to do that too, to any other country.
Most definitely.
This thing is reciprocal.
Most definitely.
And that's what we've been shouting. We should understand the nuances of international law. You are going to bring people as career diplomats, bring people who are seized of the dynamics.
Right. All right. So let's again look at the bargaining power of these ambassadors, be it career or non-career. How are they also able to engage their host in myriads of issues, from terrorism to insecurity to transnational crime, especially again, be it on the African continent, be it in Europe, be it in Africa? What are their expectations as to how they are also able to bridge the gap and maybe also change the perception of how these people also see Nigeria from what Nigeria really is or should be?
You see, if you look at, there's no rocket science to engaging host nations who are receiving our ambassadors. They have a blueprint. And the blueprint, if you ask me, is Section 19 of our Constitution, which spells out our foreign policy objectives. Our foreign policy objectives is simple. It says national interest first. And then African interest. And then global interest. And that we seek to cooperate with friendly nations. That's it. Anything outside of that is un-Nigerian. It's not known to our Constitution. That's why people like us spoke out when Nigeria began to hobnob with BRICS. This is far from our foreign policy objectives. If you must do anything outside that Section 19, then alter Section 19. Then we know that, okay. Because before now, Nigeria has been notoriously known for, being a non-aligned nation. But not because in the days of the Cold War, and the Cold War between the USSR, the old USSR, and this same U.S., Uncle Sam. All right, so we were non-aligned. We were non-aligned.
Okay.
We were not here, we were neither here nor there.
Right.
Okay, but then we had every reason to pursue homegrown policies. And that's what we are saying. Homegrown issues should be exported with full confidence. Nigerians should be able to muster and stand up and speak with courage. Oh, I watched the video of our late Prime Minister. You need to watch that video. Oh, you will feel proud. A lot of young people are missing so many things. Go on the internet and Google, see how, I have seen how Fani Kayode address the U.S. Congress
Right.
in 2004-5. You need to see how the late Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa, how he was speaking, and white diplomats were all else. It was J.F. Kennedy himself who came to receive him.
Let's also quickly touch on funding of our foreign missions. Sometimes we hear complaints of lack of funding, neglect, and all of that.
Which shouldn't come up in the first place.
Yes. So,
because they come every year for the budget presentations.
They do. So what should government be doing differently this time around? And how should these ambassadors, when they also resume office, how should they interface appropriately?
Well, if you say, what should government be doing? Let me go the way of Oma Wumi. If you ask me.
Now who I go ask?
Who I want to ask? The same government that couldn't do anything to the Iowa delegate that happened in 2013. They watched him leave Nigeria with his wife. And then he came back only to get ambassadorial posting. I mean, these are things we should learn to speak out about. It doesn't mean that we do not like the president.
Yeah.
So if you are asking me that, what will we do? There's been no equity. In our political sphere, there has been no equity. There has been no integrity.
Okay.
Everything has been shrouded in secrecy. Sorry, like Fela sang. He said army arrangement. Now, this time around, this is politicians' arrangement.
Right. Before we close this conversation this morning...
we are already going to close? I wish we had one more hour.
I get you.
There's so much to talk about.
For Nigerians in the diaspora, and when these ambassadors are eventually posted to their various commissions, can Nigerians in the diaspora actually hold them accountable?
They should, because the bulk of the work of the ambassador is for the interest of those who are abroad. You have three traditional roles of an ambassador: reportorial functions, to report to the home state, and protectionist functions, part of which is, your
citizens
Nigerians
in those countries.
That is all about them, nothing more.
Okay.
So Nigerians abroad, yes, they can hold them accountable.
Right. All right, we'd have to leave this conversation here this morning. Thank you so much, Tosi Akode, for finding time to weigh in on the conversation this morning.
It's always my pleasure.
Of course, we've been speaking with our guest this morning, and we've spoken about Ambassador-Designate's deployment, especially in issues concerning foreign affairs. That's the more to take. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Joy will be here with her Lagos conversation.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying